I am winning on all fronts limitlessly.
I have made tremendous improvement at work through delegating and empowering teams.
We started with the law of intentionality, which specifically makes it clear that growth cannot just happen. You have to be intentional about your growth.
CTO Africa Leadership brings you the Grow Journey, a series of masterclasses based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. In this 10-week virtual growth accelerator, you will acquire the skills to thrive and flourish as you evolve into a more impactful and fulfilled individual. You will master the art of personal and professional development as you craft and execute your customized growth plan. Limited seats available. Register now for the next cohort.
Hey there, join the next cohort of CTO Ghana's growth journey.
The next cohort is coming on. Get involved and your life will never be the same.
Get ready for a transformational experience at Live to Lead Ghana 2024. On October 4th, join Ghana's most influential leaders for a day that will renew your mind and change your life. John C. Maxwell will guide you on cultivating an abundance mindset. Kwame Penim will reveal how visionary leadership can drive profound societal and organizational transformation. Self-leadership with Olympian Shantelo, be empowered by her story of resilience, to business growth strategies with Brandon Dorsey and team dynamics with Malcolm Gladwell. You gain powerful insights to fuel your success. Don't miss Valerie Burton's energy renewal techniques and Akosia Bami's mindset revolution for deep personal and professional change. David Ofosudote, a reputable lawyer with the 5th largest law firm in Africa, will be speaking on transformation as a corporate strategy. Join us, transform your mindset and lead for change. Register now at livetoleadghana.com. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Leadership Platform powered by CTL Africa Leadership. You're all warmly welcome. My name is Joy Bonsu-Schmutz, joining you from Accra, Ghana. I would love to know where you are joining us from. So kindly introduce yourself, and we'll be glad to announce you to the world. Let us know your name and where you are connecting from. It's another lovely evening about growth. Come around the table to share ideas, learnings to grow ourselves, and more importantly, improve on the quality of leadership in our country. So thank you for joining, and don't forget to share this broadcast with your network on WhatsApp, on Facebook, YouTube. Just get the link and then share with a friend, and they will thank you for doing that. All right, so I see William Dafoe joining us from Tema. He says, another great day to learn and share. We always appreciate you, sir. And then I also see Conrad joining us. He says, glad to be here tonight to learn from our awesome coach, as always. So the team
that powers this event. I just want to acknowledge our team, Sarah, Jessie, Hawa, Vivian, Priscilla, and the whole team. We all come together to put this amazing show for you. And Uncle Sam is right here. We'll be joining in for a lovely conversation tonight. Okay, so thank you again. Tonight we'll be discussing a very important topic. If those of you who've been on this platform for a while, you will know that when it comes to leadership, Uncle Sam would always say leadership starts with self. It always starts with you. If you cannot transform yourself, you cannot transform anybody. So our topic for tonight is lead yourself first. This is the catalyst for transforming lives and leadership. Wow, I cannot wait for us to delve into this. And tonight, doing us the honors is an amazing leadership coach. She's a financial consultant, the co-founder of Crescendo Consult. She would be joining us on stage to share with us a little bit into this topic. And as you all know, this is a runway to the much anticipated event of the year, Live to Lead 2024. Please, if you have gotten your ticket, please give me a shout out in the comments, because we've been announcing this for a very long time, and we have 6 days to go. A week by this time, Live to Lead will be over. Would have had an amazing time of learning. So please let me know if you're coming into the room. Live to Lead is going to be powerful. We'll be sharing a bit more about it, some final ideas and thoughts that would ginger you to be there in the room. Okay, so tonight doing us the honors is Mrs. Doris Ahiati, and she is paramount of her descriptions tonight. I would say she's a co-host of the Live to Lead 2024. She's been a co-host for some time, and she's also going to be sharing her perspective. And I think this is a topic that really resonates with her, and she would be coming on the stage to share with us her thoughts. So let me bring Doris on stage so that we can begin our conversation for tonight. Good evening, Doris.
Good evening, Joy, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening
Yes.
to all those joining us from across the world. I'm
Yes,
happy to be
yes,
here.
yes.
It's a
Thank you. Thank
privilege.
you for
I
making the
appreciate it.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you for making the time. And I know we're going to learn a lot from you. I love the way you always, anytime you're doing a presentation, I remember just at the last press launch, when you had 5 minutes to share, you took your time, you just go one after the other in a very clear, concise way how you share your thoughts. So we're hoping tonight will be no different, so we can also learn some ideas from you on self-leadership. But before we start, I just want to ask you a few, because on LinkedIn, when I see your profile, there are a number of letters behind your name. So you have some FCIB, people have been asking, how are we filing the letters behind your name? So please just tell us a little bit about you in terms of what you do, what you're doing in the space of financial consultancy and leadership as well, before we get started.
Okay. So thank you very much. I like to come from my passion for life, which is to help people to achieve financial and spiritual liberation. And with financial and spiritual liberation, that is ultimately coming through learning experiences. So that presupposes that wherever there is learning happening, learning being created, being shared, that's where you can find me at the peak of my energy. And so I serve people through advisory, consulting, coaching, mentoring, lecturing, with the Ghana Institute of Securities and Investment. So that's the investment banking space. I do some work with the Chartered Institute of Bankers, the China Europe International Business School. And I would always infuse the coaching approach to when I have to facilitate learning, as opposed to using the traditional lecturing approach, which will be more of telling. And I have to add the fact that I'm also always learning at the feet of many great others, including somebody like Sarah Jessie, who couldn't make it here today. Papa John C. Maxwell, who is our ultimate mentor, and many, many other people that invest in me so that I may not be empty but have to share. I think this suffices.
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you so much. And maybe one very last one, just to also get to know you a little bit. I know you're a preacher as well. But what do you do? What do you do for fun when you're not working, you're not consulting?
Okay, so first of all, I love learning. So when I'm learning, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a blast, which means that all the things that I do, I get lost in them and I can
Mm,
go on and on. But I love movies. I love movies. I love sci-fi. I love X Files. I love Bones, detective stuff because I think it's intriguing and it's stimulates my imagination. Last night I was sharing that one of my sons said, "Oh, I found The Residents. I know it's your kind of series movies," and I got into it, and before I knew it was 5:30 a.m. and I'm looking forward to my sleep tonight. So that's what I do for fun. More like if I want to while the time away. If I'm not sitting by the beach, you're likely to find me watching a movie. Thank you. I'm not able to hear you. I don't know if this is just me.
okay, I think that I went on mute. Is it
Uh-huh.
better? Okay, so
Yes,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
hand
better.
over the stage to you. So please take us away with your presentation, and we'll be back for some more conversation. Thank you.
I'll try to keep it straight to the point, crisp. My assignment this evening is to touch on leading self first as a catalyst for transforming lives and leadership. And I love to say that I've always been very passionate about leading self, and you'll get to know why this is so. I'll share with us from my own personal journey, and then I'll focus on Shantae Lowy, who is going to be one of our key speakers during the Live to Lead come October 4th. So that's all that I'm going to share with you in a few minutes, and hopefully it will get more interactive. About my personal journey, you would see on the slide right now, I hope that it's showing good enough on your side. Please confirm for me. I can see that I seem to be hot spotted. I don't know if it's just from my side. Hello, Joy.
Yes, Doris. Yes, we could see your slide. So
I'd prefer I'm using the slide, so I need to be able to read. So if it's
okay.
okay for the slide to be bigger and me on the
Yes.
side,
Okay.
I'd
Sure.
prefer it that way. And if you
Excellent.
can run through it for me, I don't understand how come from my side it went the way it did. But uh-huh. So a few quotes as we begin to get deeper into the conversation. The first quote is by our mentor, John C. Maxwell, that says, "I may not be able to change the world, and I promise you, I really desire to change the world. But given as it may be that I may not be able to change the whole world that I see around me, at least I can change what lies within me." And that has been my own personal story. We also have Paul McGraw that says, "I always say the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. And you've got to be your own best friend." And when I think about being my own best friend, and when you think about being your own best friend, I would love for you to think about how sincere, how honest, what a mirror that you can be for your very best friend. Because usually we tell our friends the truth. We are brutally honest. And if you would adopt that same approach when it comes to how you relate with yourself, then you would be on your way to that growth that eventually impacts the people around you. If you desire that those aspirations that the world you would desire for your friend, if you desire it for yourself, and you will work towards it, you will make the needed sacrifices that you would go very far. So let's talk a little bit about my journey. And the slide template I'm using today, you see that we are just at the beginning, and I have a slide saying the end. It is the last slide for my 7-year-old son's project work, which he'll be presenting on Monday. And I watched him finish it, supporting him to go through with it. First, he had to watch a documentary on the Volta River and to come up with 5 interesting facts and put in his presentation. And this is how he chose the templates, the photo he wanted to be on his last slide. Why am I showing this with you when we are talking about leading self first? I have a number of favorite persons in the world, and one of my favorite persons likes to tell me that I'm stubborn. You can look at it from that perspective of stubbornness, or you can look at it based on your relationship with yourself. And based on my relationship with myself, I like to say I'm resilient. And so the things that others will give up, others will crumble under, will balk at, you see me persist and persevere in it. And you can look at it and say, Akora, we are stubborn. Oh, this person, this chap is very stubborn or tough or whatever other words. Now, I like for you to think about this same person that will be perceived as being stubborn, also having the patience to work with a 7-year-old to come up with a project like this, literally supporting him to, he's typing his own thing, he's using the PowerPoint template, and he's going online and inserting photos that he wants to be in his slides. And I want to draw your attention to how each one of us, based on the relationship we choose to have with ourselves, the diligence, the commitment, the patience, and how these can lead in the end to that kind of person who is able to empower, enable, influence others. I mean, a stubborn person being able to support a 7-year-old to come up with such beautiful work, I think is transformational. Now, I want us to also think about my own leadership journey, which begins with viewing my brother return from high school and me seeing a certain transformation in him. Sibling rivalry fights, and then he goes to boarding school, returns during the vacation, and we get into our usual fights, and he's not making the fight nice because he's not hitting me back. And I'm grabbing him and pulling him, and the fight is just not nice. And I see that, hey, something has changed here, transformation has happened here. So I also want you to think about the fact that as you work on your inside and the transformation happens, it becomes apparent, it becomes evident. The people around you see you, they see it. They see the evolution of your personality, the good that is evolving from wherever you are coming from. Because I know where I started from. I was nowhere near what I have become today. There's a lot of improvement that has happened. And I'm still on that journey. And I thought I will highlight this as we go forward. Now, the person that I want us to turn our attention most to today, as we learn about leading self first, will be Shante Lowy. Shante Lowy, who is going to be one of our key speakers come October 4th, Live to Lead, is a mother of 3 children, the wife of one man, but he's also an athlete. And it's important for me to mention that he's also a cancer survivor, having gone through a double mastectomy. He's an Olympic runner, a gold medalist. And why is it of interest for us to look at Shante's life? Her life starts from watching the television and seeing a certain Black woman win the gold medal for the US. And this piqued her interest. It's kindled a flame in her heart. And she wanted to be like that woman out there on the stage jubilating. And sometimes when we think about our leadership journeys and our growth, we might have motives and motivations and intentions that may be a bit self-serving. I want to be out there. I want to be seen as the one who made it, the one who did it, to bask in the glory. And she designed that. So she asked her mom, what will it take for me to become that woman? And the mom shared 2 words: hard work and perseverance. I won't share her full story. You will learn more from herself on October 4th, but this is just to whet your appetite. So her mom said perseverance and hard work. Now, she went on to run, train, prepare from basic school, high school, clearing hurdles, contesting, eventually trying to prepare to qualify for the Olympics, went for the Olympics, some near misses, and eventually, when she least expected. And I say when she least expected, in her story, she says she shares of an instance where there are 4 women standing in the competition. 3 have not been able to clear their bars, and she's the only standing woman that has to clear now. She has to attack it with a certain focus, because if she's able to clear the bars, then she's going to be the gold winner. So this is going to require a lot of focus, concentrated energy, positive mindset for her to get over. And she's almost done it. And whilst airborne, she decides to celebrate. And in her celebration, her body movements makes her feet touch the bar. There were other competitions that she went into. But eventually, the competition that really made the difference was when 8 years later, after a particular contest that she didn't win, the gold medal was reassigned to her. And it was reassigned to her because the other 3 women that had won, it was determined or detected that they had cheated in their qualification somewhere. So years after the win, after they have celebrated, after the world has elevated them and seen them in whatever light, now the win is reassigned to Shantae. Okay. That's one part of her story. And the final part of her story I'll touch on before I go to the principles and strategies that we draw as far as what self-leadership entails is concerned, will be her battle with breast cancer. So she's won this great accolade, victory, and the world sees her as a gold medalist, which is a beautiful thing. And then she's diagnosed with breast cancer when she's preparing for her next Olympics. She has to go through the painful, demanding treatment of chemotherapy. In the process, she loses her hair. They have to remove both of her breasts, and the recovery is full of agony, days when she can hardly move. But through all of that, she's trying to still train and prepare so that she can get to use the platform of the Olympic Games to create awareness around breast cancer and the impact that it has on people's lives. Because, I mean, as a mother, if she should die, think about what happens to her children, her family, her husband, the people that depend on her. And those women that potentially could become susceptible to breast cancer, they are in your community, they are in my community. The people that will be impacted are all around us, and this is an important thing to draw an awareness to. I'm highlighting this because in a moment of great pain, personal agony, she could have chosen to just focus on herself, to nurture her pain or pity herself, throw pity parties, but she chose to use it to benefit others. She chose to use what she was going through to bring a certain awareness that will make others' lives better. And that is what, in essence, what leadership is supposed to be about. And even though she ended up not qualifying for that particular Olympics, the efforts that she made, she talks about how some days she could barely walk with the walker, but it's still steps that in her mind she's taking as part of her preparation for the Olympics. And when she could run, then she would run in the stadium. And when she could walk, she could do that as well. And there are a whole lot of lessons that I'm now going to share from her experience, which I've tried to capture in this story of Shantae Louis with you. And here comes the principles and the strategies. Yes, you still see the residue of my son's homework. The photos were not deleted, but I hope you find them entertaining and also see how it resonates with what we are talking about. So Shantae's mom's first advice is principle number one, if you like, that if you are going to lead yourself, it requires hard work. Leading yourself doesn't mean that you wake up and you are sleeping on the beach, you've crossed your legs, you are reading your book and enjoying the breeze 24/7, and that is how you lead yourself. Leading yourself requires that you do more than that. Joy had asked me what I do to relax or to have fun when I'm not working. So there is that bit where you don't just spend your whole life, your whole time. If you are going to lead yourself in a way that is transformational, impacts your community, you've got to spend time taking action that makes a difference. And those actions start with work that you do on yourself. And the second part is perseverance. We often say that the most difficult person to lead is ourselves. The reason is that we feel ourselves. I feel me and you feel you. We feel the good and we feel the bad and we feel the ugly. More importantly, we feel the pain. It's not very easy for you to feel somebody's pain the way they feel the pain. We can empathize, we can sympathize, but whatever pain they are experiencing, it is they who are feeling whatever pain it is. And so that desire to protect ourselves will make us just try to block that pain, save ourselves the discomfort and the inconvenience. And yet, these are the very sensations that come with hard work, that come with perseverance, that come with working on ourselves and growing. So essentially, when we talk about leading ourselves, which requires working on ourselves, it's going to require us overlooking the pain, the discomfort, the sensations which we don't prefer, and forging ahead regardless of that pain, of that discomfort, of that inconvenience. And I think that is why working on self is a crucial requirement if you are going to be impactful and transformational in your community. Somebody that has not paid that price, made that sacrifice, endured, delayed gratification, cannot be trusted by the community to be able to pay the price and make sacrifices for them. And this is why it's so important, if you are going to excel that in leadership, that you start with leading yourself. While Shantae's mom mentioned hard work and perseverance, I have these 4 P's, which are an integration of something I learned from some mentors ahead of me, Reverend Ogba Amitete, who is the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, my former boss, as well as all around. So I've incorporated and infused a few other P's, but the 4 P's are the essential principles that you require for your self-leadership. And they start with passion. If you reflect back on Shantae's story, which I just shared with you, you see that she saw the Olympic game on television. She saw the joy, the glory, and a flame was lighted, a certain desire. And that thing gives you the energy for you to take an action. And so if you are going to lead yourself and lead yourself successfully and bring about transformation in your own life, circumstances, and that of others, you need to have a passion. So the question I'll throw to you today is, what is your passion? In my introduction, I used my passion. And very closely related to your passion, that thing which gives you energy, which drives you, which is the motivation for you to get up and go. For some people, when Monday is coming, they are crying and weeping. That means that whatever you are going to do the rest of the week is not something you are motivated to do or you are passionate about doing. Closely related to passion is purpose. Our purpose, which is essentially our life mission, raison d'etre on the face of this planet, the contribution that we are intended to make the world a better place, usually reflected in our strengths, those things that we enjoy doing, is also very crucial. And when you put your passion and your purpose together, it gives you focus so that you are not distracted and drawn to follow every new thought, every new fad, every new philosophy, every new thing that is cool. But you maintain your focus because you know these are where your strengths converge at to bring the maximum impact. So passion closely related with purpose. The second P for me will be perspiration. When you've caught the vision and you are energized and you have that desire, the fire is burning on the inside of you. Now you have to do some hard work. And this hard work of taking actions is going to make you sweat. Perspiration. Now, you shouldn't shy away from perspiration. That's what Lois' mom calls the hard work. It's all parts of the refinement that happens in you to make you better, to stretch your mind, to give you a certain exposure, a certain resilience that makes your subsequent future decisions and choices more impactful, more robust, and more transformational. You can choose to shy away from perspiration, but then it limits how much your choices, your decisions, your contribution can be transformational and impactful. So if you are a leader that wants to bring about a certain extent of impact and make a certain level of difference in lives, you need to go through that period of perspiration because it influences and shapes your thoughts, your choices, and how you create a difference in the society that you find yourself. Closely on the heels of perspiration, we have perseverance. It's not easy. It's not easy. Leaders on the call, it is not easy. It's very easy for you to want to give up when you are feeling the pain, the discomfort, the inconvenience. And our brain, for example, is also wired to not even want a change. So the things that are convenient and comfortable, that's where comfort zone, that's where the brain wants you to be. But you have to keep forging ahead. You have to keep taking an extra step, go the extra mile, which is making you become stronger and better. And you need to persist against the odds of your feelings and sensations. And this is also where your patience will be stretched and tested. You might give up. You might feel like, is it even worth it? What am I struggling for? How much will I eat? How much will I spend, me and my family? But your life, I always say, is bigger than you. Your life is more about the people that you impact. And so hang in there and be patient and keep up with the practice. The persistence and the perseverance gives you that practice that makes you get better and better at what you do. The fourth P here, which I have adopted into my own 4 Ps, is the pattern recognition. There are systems, there are frameworks, there are trends that we can observe and ride on the back on to improve our outcomes as leaders for our lives and for the people that we influence. At John C. Maxwell, we have these numbers exercises. And when you go through it, initially, it may take you a long time to be able to identify the order in which the numbers appear. But when you've been shown that it's a 4-quadrant order, and each quadrant will have the number, as soon as you see the pattern, it becomes so easy for you to pick them. In your personal life, what relationship do you have with yourself? What patterns of behavior do you see evolving in your own life? Some of us sabotage ourselves by our attitudes, by our emotions. So there's a bit of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-regulation I'm talking about here. That you may begin to see patterns that are not helping you to achieve your outcome. Every time that you are close to sealing a certain deal, then maybe early celebration or overexcitement or deciding to now relax, you end up compromising what the outcome could be. It's a pattern. Now, there are other patterns and systems that may not come from your own life. You don't have to wait, suffer, experience everything yourself to learn. You can learn from what others, when we talk about no need to reinvent the wheel, you can learn from autobiographies. You can engage with others, use coaches, mentors to help you accelerate how much difference and how much growth that you are able to accomplish. So make use of systems, patterns, and data analytics, yes, for your own personal growth in leading yourself and also for others. um, you may realize that every day that you have exercised, your energy limits are boundless and you are able to accomplish more. That's a pattern. And it's telling you in your leadership journey that you should spend time and prioritize a little amount of exercise because it's going to give you that energy for you to perform better during the day. This is a pattern. You may notice that when you have not drank enough water, when you have not hydrated, when you have not prepared and you have to deliver a presentation, you fumble. It's a pattern. And it's a pattern you can follow for your own growth. So do something about it. Focus and discipline, I think, would underscore all that I'm sharing when it comes to the principles and strategies. And I like to quickly touch on the law of pain, 15 invaluable laws of growth by our mentor, John C. Maxwell, which is essentially saying that good management of bad experiences will make you a better person. They will lead to your growth. We will all have experiences, pleasant and unpleasant. Shante Lowy was growing up in a poverty endemic community. Eventually, it was Olympic scholarship that saw her through college. So you may be growing up in an environment like ours where leadership is a challenge, where economic hardships is the order of the day, where the environment has been so destroyed that the future seems to hang in the balance. But how do you navigate this experience? Do you just coil back? Do you just throw your hands in the air? Do you just decide to leave the country and migrate to another country? Or do you begin to see what action you can take that contributes to what will become the solution to the problem? The law of pain. You are experiencing discomfort. How you manage that discomfort, how you manage the fact that you found yourself in Ghana as a Ghanaian and not a citizen of some other country, that you were born where you were born and you grew up, you were brought up the way you were brought up, etc. What you deal with it is a reflection of the law of pain. And the recommendation for self-leadership is that you manage the bad experiences better so that you can grow out of it. You can pick the lessons out of them. And here the emphasis is on letting go of the past, which sometimes may represent comfort. We say the devil we know is better than the angel we don't know. I don't know why we believe so, but essentially that's what comfort is telling you. Yes, it was unpleasant, but we know it. We don't want to risk something else that we don't know. But nothing grows in the comfort zone. So we have to embrace the new if we are going to make any difference. And all these are lessons, principles, strategies I draw from the story of Shante Lowy. I also want to touch on the meaninglessness of winning and failing. In John Maxwell, as we go through our training, and one of the key resources we use to support clients is sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. And when you look at the world's concept of win and lose, it makes people so desperate to win, win, win. However, we need to pause, step back, and consider what the world terms as losing to really mean. Because then we avoid loss because of the shame and the stigma that are tied to it. However, it is in losing, as the world calls it, that we learn. And I believe that as part of our self-leadership, leading self, if we have not lost much, then it means we have not dared and tried much, especially much that will stretch our capabilities and make us grow. And you would also see that the whole world celebrated the three women. They've won, all the noise, all the photos, all the media. And it's so fleeting. 8 years later, some investigation was done and we discovered that, okay, they actually didn't win. And we go and hand over the win to somebody else. In this case, Shante Lowy. That for me is the meaninglessness of winning and losing. It's neither here nor there. And I think what really matters that we should focus on is the difference that we make in the lives of others. Whether we won or we lost, how did this entertain? How did this Olympic Games, the race, inspire and motivate people to become more, to take a certain action, to stretch themselves? I think that is what matters, and not necessarily the verdict of a win or a loss, but more importantly, the lessons that we pick along the journey are to be treasured. Keep going and keep activating. And I'm saying this because you see, when she had to use a walker in the hospital corridors, she was still practicing for the Olympic Games. And when she could run around the stadium, she was still practicing. So wherever you find yourself in your leadership journey, whatever little actions that you feel capable to take, don't disregard them. We say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step. You want to start a multi-million dollar company, or you want to address the Galamsey challenge. What is the first step that you can take? It might be to just Google solutions to land reclamation. You will get some ideas. Now, when you get the ideas, what is the next step that you feel like taking? And do take that step, because as soon as you take a step, it is naturally going to lead you to the next step. So as I bring my submission to a conclusion, I'm drawing our attention to the fact that even though it takes the collective, the Ubuntu, for us to bring about a significant difference, change, transformation in our communities and societies, we are not able to achieve that collective approach to addressing the issues unless we start with the I. Remember, I mentioned at the beginning that a person who has not stretched themselves, paid a certain price in discipline, made sacrifices, cannot be trusted by the people around to be able to contribute to the collective interest for the common good. And so that is where it starts. Your contribution matters. My contribution matters. We're using the example of the Volta River, navigating its way all the way to the estuary to join the Gulf of Guinea. And as it joins the sea here, you can imagine the terrain that the water went through. Sometimes it has to go around rocks. Sometimes it has to go up and down steep hills, creating waterfalls that we enjoy. But it goes through all of this journey and ends up joining the bigger sea. And that's just the imagery I want you to reflect on as we join hands with our little drops to create a mighty ocean, by starting with that personal mindset revolution, by committing to pay that price of leading ourselves, by disregarding the pain, the discomfort, the inconvenience, which is usually temporary. But if we are able to overcome, persevere, persist, be patient, that we would have passed that test that gives confidence to the people around us to entrust leadership of the collective into our hands. Ubuntu takes trust. And it also takes discipline, sacrifice that has been observed in your self leadership. And this is how we are able to impact and influence others. When people see what we've been able to do with ourselves, they are happy to submit and trust us to contribute to what will bring the transformation that they all desire. Don't forget that fulfillment ultimately will be drawn from the difference, the impact that you make in the lives of others. Thank you very much.
All right, Doris, thank you so much for sharing. Wow, you thought it was going to be short, but I think you've done a really good job just taking us through the foundations of leading self. I have a few questions, and then I'll bring Uncle Sam as well on stage so that we can have some conversations. But I want to just encourage our audience. Please feel free to share your comments, your questions, and any experience that would help all of us on this call improve our knowledge on the subject of self leadership. Doris, so for me, you've said a lot of really brilliant points that I've just jotted a few things down. Nothing grows in the comfort zone, and don't disregard small steps. And then your four P's, I think they are also very, very poignant. The passion, the purpose, perseverance, and patience. That I don't know whether you have a patent for that, but that's really a
I
that's a
don't.
really nice one. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm looking at self leadership. I'm looking at self discipline. How would you differentiate the two?
So they are so intertwined that you cannot have one without the other.
Yeah.
Myself, I want to stay in bed when the morning comes. I don't want to get out of the bed, except that, there's that excitement. Hey, if I get up and I go out there, there's some learning I'm going to contribute to that makes people's lives better. Otherwise, I would love to snuggle, or like last night, just spend the whole 24/7, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, watching The Resident or some other fun thing I love to do. That's nice. It gives sweeter feelings. But to lead myself is to say that how will this impact my life, my person, to help me to deliver what I'm able to contribute to the
Yeah.
well being of myself and to others? My sons have a term they call couch potato. So if I just sit on the sofa all those hours without getting up, I'm even destroying my body, my
Mm.
circulation. I might develop blood clots in my feet. That's self-destructing. It's
Mm.
suicidal because in the end, I will not be fit, and the number of years I should be able to live, it's cut short. Exercise in the morning is one of the areas that your leadership can be tested. So I see self leadership to touch on all the things that we do to preserve ourselves in a way that is responsible.
Mm-hmm.
I call something owner's manual. Your body is for you. The way you take care of the body is a manual that should be ingrained here, and you are making those choices daily
Yeah.
to keep this body that you live in. And it takes self leadership to even do that. So when we talk about your physical health, it's going to take, you have to observe your hygiene protocols, physical fitness, what you feed your mind with physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. They are
Mm-hmm.
choices you must make. And as you make
Mm-hmm.
these choices, sometimes the trade off can be painful.
Yeah.
You really want to do something, you really want to self gratify now, but this self gratification will lead to your distraction ultimately. What do you do? It takes discipline, exercising the restraint, overcoming the pain, the discomfort, and
Yeah.
doing what you know will better serve you. Will better
Okay.
serve you. That
Mm.
also presupposes you must know what is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that
Awesome.
answers you.
Yes, 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 it does. It does. I mean, I remember this incident the day I was leaving France back to Ghana, and I had an early morning bus trip from my city to another city to pick my flight. And it was a very windy, cold morning. And my plan was to actually call a cab or to just do call a cab or book an Uber and then drop me at they call it La Gare, and then you pick your bus and then you go. And you know, France, they don't joke with their sleep, they don't joke with their break time, they don't joke with stuff like that. So 4 a.m., I'm checking on the app, no vehicle available. I'm checking on Uber, no vehicle available. And my bus leaves at 5.
Wow.
So carrying two suitcases with a backpack, with a windy morning, with your coat, with your everything. And I tell myself that, okay, so you have a bus to catch. If you don't catch the bus, you miss your flight and you're going to have to pay extra. All of that, like the chain reaction is it's like sleeping in bed. Then I decided, okay, I'm going to wheel the two bags as slowly as I can until I'm able to find a cab and then make the call. And it wasn't too far. It was a 15 minutes walk on a normal day. So doing this walk in the morning cold, I mean, the wind was, moving my hat here and I was pushing. So I came across a few people and I would say, I really do need help with this. And nobody was willing to help that morning. For a moment, there were just tears in my eyes. I was tired. I was cold. I was thinking about missing my bus in the next 5 minutes. And just this thought that, Joy, if you can endure this pain, just a little bit more and push yourself across that street. This bus station was in sight. You can at least call for help. So I said, I'm going to just endure this pain. And you talked a lot about sensation, overcoming that. So I end up pushing these two 23 kilos each bags across the streets, at that dawn. And once I got into the open arena, I saw a young man. I asked for help and we were running with my bags and I was the last person to board the bus. So
Wow.
sometimes just that moment I could really sense it when you were speaking that there's some point that you really need to be tested to overcome some pain because there are ripple effects. So the choice of, okay, I can't do this, there's nobody to help me, and then you lose your bus, you miss your flight, you have to pay extra, versus I endure the pain and humbly ask for help and then eventually you're able to make it. So self-discipline, self-leadership, definitely. And I resonate with all that you said about being able to control your emotions, to be able to influence your actions and decisions. Okay. All right. A few
And
comments
what you
coming
just
in
shared
there.
also brought into
Mhm.
sharp focus the importance
Mm.
of having a vision,
Yeah.
having that objective, having a goal. If there's
Yeah.
nothing that you are living for, if there's nothing you are looking forward to, you might well give up because why am I even doing this? Why am I
Yeah.
sweating, perspiring?
Yeah. 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 Very good. A few comments from the audience. So Phyla 2 says, great delivery, Auntie Doris. Made for more show says, thank you so much. There's some commendations. William Dafoe also says, awesome presentation. Thank you so much. And Tete Jr. also just rehashes the points on nothing grows in your comfort zone. Okay. All right. So keep them coming. I'm going to invite Uncle Sam on stage and then let him share a few thoughts as well with us while we wrap up the show. Hi, Uncle
Uh,
Sam. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I thought we were going to have a quick break so that Doris can take some water because she
Okay.
shares so much, but that was great.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway, so um, I'm just here absorbing, and I think it's an important subject. And I want to encourage all of you, come to Live to Late. Those of you who
Yeah.
are on this call and you haven't registered, you're going to experience the woman that Doris has just sketched for you
Yeah.
herself, tell you the story and go behind the scenes and the story behind the story. You want to come and share. Um, the aspect I just want to underscore is the aspect of motivation. What is it that motivates you? What is it that drives you? What is your why in life? Because leadership is influence. Self leadership is how do you influence yourself? Okay. So, how do you take yourself from A to
Mm.
B?
Yeah.
And what is it that is chasing you to do that? When I was in school, I mean, I've told my story several times on this platform, but there are several instances in my life where I did what I had to do because I said to myself, if I don't do it, it's going to be difficult. I mean, like working for the village, most of the time when it was raining and people will stay home, they don't want to go to school because you're going to walk 7 kilometers to the next school and it's raining. Of course, you stay home. Where's the big deal? I'll be crying. I mean, I didn't know anything. I'll be crying to my mother. I want to go. My mother will say, "But everybody is staying home. Why do you want to go? It's raining." I said, "No, I have to go because the teachers will be there." And I will go in the rain and go to school. Okay. I wanted to read more. In my class, there was only one book, one textbook. So you read one sentence, you pass it to the
Mm,
next
that's
person,
it.
you read the other sentence, they pass it to the next sentence you read. And when it was time, they ring the bell, the teacher takes the book and lock it in the cupboard. And I wanted to read more. What did I do? I will wait. I don't know whether it was good or bad, but that's what I did. When they ring the bell and they are going for the assembly, I'll let everybody go. You know, the village cupboard had no padlock. I'll take that book, put it in my shirt at my back, tuck it in, and go and stand in the assembly. And I will take that book home. That day, I had to do everything I have to do and come back. Early in the morning, I go quickly. It's still in my bag, put it back in the cupboard.
Mm.
I've read enough. Because if I didn't read that much, I'll be in trouble. I mean, today I can recall several things that I did. That the thing is, if I didn't do those things, I would not be here. And when Doris talk about lead yourself first, which is a catalyst for transformation, everything we're doing here and everybody around and the things we're trying to contribute is because
Yeah.
you have to get yourself out to do things for yourself. Um, I remember in my days in sixth form, you there were those were the days. Doris probably, I don't know, you remember, and it's still happening. They used to have what is called vacation classes. In my sixth form days in Temasco, I studied economics, maths, economics, accounting, and French. And accounting and French in particular, there were two lecturers in Accra because me, I'm from the village and I go to Tema. When they ring the bell, I'm going back to the village. Okay. And this Dada Bas and Papa Bas will go for the extra classes. There was a guy they called Amanfo. I think he was the guru in economics or accounting. There was another guy. So they'll go for all those extra classes. And me, I'm going to the village. When I come back, I go, guys, those of you who went for the extra classes, can I have your notes? And they used to call me copier. It's just for when I took your notes, I will copy. And the way I used to copy, I take the book like this and I will fold it like this. Those of you who have seen me, I fold every page, I fold it like this. And then on every line, I write two. I write
Right.
two lines on. So it was small, 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 small. Because if that book is full, I have no money to buy another one. And I have to copy all your notes inside that book. And I mean, because if I didn't do that, where am I going? Back to the village. So what is it that is driving you? What is it that is keeping you going? And sometimes it's just the environment. You have to tell yourself, hey, I'm the firstborn of 15 children. At that time, my mother was dead, and my father was out there producing children. Apparently, he was producing them for me to take care of. You see what I mean? So if I didn't do those things, all my siblings, and at one point, even after national service at sixth form level, I was paying school fees. I started paying school fees at that level. And it's then that all those things come to play. So your environment, your circumstance and things, it's not an excuse. Yes, there are good reasons why you can give yourself a break and say, after all. But if you don't do that and move yourself out of it by yourself, and I tell my brothers and sisters, I didn't have anybody ahead of me. Today they can comfortably say they have a brother they want to go to. But no, I was the first. So where do you go? So having the self-motivation to drive you, that's leadership, that's self-leadership. If you cannot motivate yourself and take yourself out of that bed to go and walk in the streets. I can tell you all those stories. How I after university, you walk on the street and so on and so forth. You need those kind of motivation. You need to be able to drive yourself. That is the only way you can be a catalyst for other people to be able to support others. So Doris, I just wanted to support what you're sharing and to thank you so much for this that you have shared, and to encourage everybody, come to Live to Lead, guys. There are other powerful people who are coming to share their stories, and you don't want to miss it. Doris, Joy, that's what I just wanted to add to what the beautiful presentation that
Yeah.
Doris has already done. Yes.
Thank you,
I'm not.
thank you, thank you. Uncle Sam's stories are always captivating, and for me, what it does for me is that I know Uncle Sam now. So when he tells me the backstory, I can understand why he has been successful in his career, what he's doing now because of some of these examples that he's done. I think that ultimately we all set goals. I mean, New Year's resolutions, 10-year plans, whichever you set, the goal is to help to influence your own actions and reach your goals. If every time you set a goal and you don't reach it, then at the end of the day, like Doris said, people can't even trust you to lead a team. People can't trust you to take on any responsibility. You have to demonstrate. Modupe of BCA has this article and also in his book, The Pot Belly Leader. These are things that it influences the leader's decision. If you can't even decide that, okay, I'm overweight, I need to do A, B, and C to get to this ideal weight, then how are you going to set a national goal and meet it? Like, it just doesn't work. You can't set a national goal. You can't set a goal for others if you can set a goal for yourself and achieve it. So it's a very important topic, and I think that we'll all be excited to be in the room, sit around. Doris will be leading some table discussions even on this topic, so you wouldn't want to miss it. All right, Doris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And there's still some commendations coming through and all of that, but we just want to thank you for your time, and we hope to see. If you want to meet Doris in person, please join us at Live to Lead on the 4th of October. After this break, we'll just get into a bit more details on where you can register, what you need to pay, who is coming on the bill for those who are first time on the show. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we are back, we'll get into a few more details. And please feel free to use the comment section to share your questions and comments. All right.
Get ready for a transformational experience at Live to Lead Ghana 2024. On October 4th, join Ghana's most influential leaders for a day that will renew your mind and change your life. John C. Maxwell will guide you on cultivating an abundance mindset. Kwame Penim will reveal how visionary leadership can drive profound societal and organizational transformation. Self-leadership with Olympian Shantae Lowe. Be empowered by her story of resilience. To business growth strategies with Brandon Dorsing and team dynamics with Malcolm Gladwell. You gain powerful insights to fuel your success. Don't miss Valerie Burton's energy renewal techniques and Akosia Bami's mindset revolution for deep personal and professional change. David Ofosudote, a reputable lawyer with the 5th largest law firm in Africa, will be speaking on transformation as a corporate strategy. Join us, transform your mindset and lead for change. Register now at livetoleadghana.com.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. For the benefit of all those who are joining us for the first time, or this is the first time you're hearing about Live to Lead. It's a leadership conference which is powered by the John Maxwell team, and we are hosting it in Ghana. And this year would be the 8th year or the 8th time we are hosting it in Ghana. So there's going to be a lot of rich information sharing, knowledge sharing, conversations that spark new passions and new ideas in the room. So it will be held at the UPSA auditorium. Please get there before 9 a.m. For some, surprises. But officially we start at 9. It's a full day event for your personal growth. We call it also the day of growth. You're going to learn a lot. And we have the virtual pass, and then we also have the in-person pass. So if you're not in Accra or you cannot make your way to Accra UPSA Auditorium, you also have the virtual tickets that you can purchase for $79, which is about 1,250, and then your in-person pass for 2,500 Ghana cedis. Of course, it's going to be a day of learning. You're investing into your growth. And the theme, as you heard Doris share today, the theme underlining this year's event is Leading for Transformation. Renewed minds change lives. Okay. Some details also include our speaker lineup. If you've been following us, you would have seen this many times. You're going to hear from John C. Maxwell himself, the #1 leadership expert and best-selling author, who is going to be speaking on abundance mindset. Please be in the room. The energy in the room is going to be amazing. So join us as we listen to these speakers. And we'll also be blessed to have Kwame Penim, Mr. Kwame Penim, who is a statesman and has a lot of lessons over the years of his lifetime. He's going to be sharing in a fireside chat on the day. And then, as we highlighted Shantae Lowe today, she's going to also be sharing. Lawyer David Ofosudote, who is the founder of the 5th largest law firm in Africa. He's going to be there to share powerful ideas on how corporates can lead and infuse transformation into their strategy. And Akosia Bami, most of you may have also heard her on the airwaves. She's the author of The Mindset Revolution, and she also has a latest book, but she's going to be speaking on Mindset Revolution. I think it's going to be amazing. So please don't miss it. And for all the business people, entrepreneurs, founders, you wouldn't want to miss Brandon Dawson. This is a serial entrepreneur who has grown multiple businesses, $1 million plus companies, and he's here to share. He's going to be sharing on how you can scale, how to introduce innovation into businesses, among other things. And for the readers, if you have come across any of Malcolm Gladwell's books, Tipping Point, David and Goliath, Outliers, he's going to be sharing on the power of group dynamics. It's the composition of your team giving you the effective results that you want. So come and hear some ideas and also Valerie Burton. She is also part of the John Maxwell faculty, and she's going to be sharing on the energy gap, how to bridge, from your ambition to achievement. So I think that anybody who is interested in leading themselves, achieving their goals for 2024, you need to hear her. You need to hear her. So please, the hashtag is be in the room. And so follow us on all our social media platforms, and then you'll be able to connect, get all the right information. We want to acknowledge our sponsors or our partners, so Village of Hope and also Heritage Christian University have blessed us this year, and we call them our champions of leadership. They've been doing this for so many years, investing into this program, bringing young emerging leaders also to Live to Lead. So we want to salute and acknowledge you. Media General have also been our media partners, so TV3, 3FM, Onia TV, Onia FM. We've been on the airwaves in the last few weeks. We're still on the airwaves with our TVCs, our jingles on air and all of that, just to be able to reach as many people as possible. And for our patrons, companies that are coming with 10 plus people, we also want to acknowledge them. So please, if you're a leader of your organization, you are the head of the HR, it's not too late. We have a few days to go. Drop your contact in the comment section. Send us an email also on info@livetoleadghana.com, or just push us a WhatsApp message on 055-666-7718. You can call or you can WhatsApp, and the team will be there to assist you. We thank you all so much. You've been an incredible support. Anytime we come here, Uncle Sam says, without you, we'll feel very lonely. And thank you for sharing all your ideas and comments in this time of learning. Next week, by this time, we would have had Live to Lead, and I'm sure we'll be taking a break next week. So we want you to join us at UPSA Auditorium next week, Friday. All right, so I think tonight we want to thank Doris again for making the time to share on leading self, and I think that will be all for tonight. Thank you. I see EA Mac Washington trying to get somebody's attention, and then also I see Anabiok Benjamin says he's glad to be part of the community. Uncle Sam, is there any other last words you would want to share before we wrap up?
No, I think you've shared it all, but you still have time, guys. Call your HR, call your bosses, and bring people into the room, and you can't miss it. I mean, Live to Lead is the place to be, and we are talking about self-leadership. It also requires you to invest in yourself. So even if your organization is not investing in you, invest in yourself. The people that are coming into the room, without Live to Lead, many of us will be difficult for us to go close to them. I mean, to listen to John Maxwell, you will have to pay thousands of dollars, but he will be available together with several other people for just a fraction of that money. And that money, you can use it to buy something which will just fade away. But the knowledge that you get, my mother used to tell us when we were young, study hard, because whatever your father has, when he dies, it will be shared. But when you get the knowledge into your head, nobody is going to share that knowledge. So please keep investing in yourself. Come to Live to Lead, and you will not regret it. Thank you so much, Joy. And thank you, Doris. And thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a good night.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, and hope to see you next week, Friday, at Live to Lead, Live to Lead, Live to Lead. Take care and good night.
Get ready for a transformational experience at Live to Lead Ghana 2024. On October 4th, join Ghana's most influential leaders for a day that will renew your mind and change your life. John C. Maxwell will guide you on cultivating an abundance mindset. Kwame Penim will review how visionary leadership can drive profound societal and organizational transformation. Self-leadership with Olympian Shantelo. Be empowered by her story of resilience. To business growth strategies with Brandon Dorsing and team dynamics with Malcolm Gladwell. You gain powerful insights to fuel your success. Don't miss Valerie Burton's energy renewal techniques and Akosia Bami's mindset revolution for deep personal and professional change. David Ofosudote, a reputable lawyer with the 5th largest law firm in Africa, will be speaking on transformation as a corporate strategy. Join us, transform your mindset and lead for change. Register now at livetoleadghana.com.